Welcome to Swirl AI Search, the podcast that dives deep into the world of enterprise AI search. Discover how to unlock the value hidden within your internal data and accelerate your journey to actionable insights. Let's cut through the noise and find out how you can get the most out of your internal information. As befitting a podcast about AI, this episode was created with the help of Notebook LM. Please enjoy the Swirl AI Search podcast.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling something that sounds amazing, almost like a silver bullet for businesses. Data democratization.
Right. The big idea that everyone in a company should be able to easily find and, actually use data.
Exactly. To make smarter decisions, improve performance. It sounds like hitting the jackpot, doesn't it?
It really does. Kind of the holy grail for modern organizations.
But like the Holy Grail, it seems for many it's remained, well, mythical. Really hard to actually achieve in practice.
That's spot on. And I bet many listeners are nodding along right now thinking about their own struggle.
Oh, definitely. Like, have you ever spent just ages trying to hunt down one specific piece of information?
We got some report that was just impossible to understand, like hieroglyphics.
Yeah. So the potential is huge, we get that, but actually getting there, it's been tough.
Incredibly tough.
So we've been digging into why. Why has this holy grail data democratization been so elusive? Why is it so hard? Let's unpack that.
Okay, well, the first massive hurdle that keeps coming up is data silos.
Ah, silos. Yeah.
Think about it in your own company, right?
Hmm.
Is all your data in one neat place? Probably not.
Unlikely. It's usually scattered, isn't it? Sales has its system, marketing another, finance.
Exactly. Different departments, different formats, maybe some on-premise, some in the cloud. It's all over the place.
And just finding what you need becomes this huge chore.
It's like a scavenger hunt, as the materials put it. And it's not trivial. We're talking, 1.5 to 2 hours a day?
Per person. That's insane. That adds up to nearly a full workday every single week just looking for stuff.
Mm-hmm. Think about the lost productivity. It's staggering, really.
Okay, so silos are a big one, but finding the data is just step one, right?
Precisely. The next hurdle is data literacy.
Meaning, even if you find the data, you might not know what to do with it.
Exactly. Or what it actually means for the business. But there's often this disconnect, between the data scientists who can crunch the numbers.
And the business folks who actually understand the context, the real world problems.
Right. The business experts might not have the technical skills to dig into the raw data, and the data scientists might not fully grasp the business implications of their analysis.
So you end up with either insights nobody understands or analysis that misses the point.
It can definitely lead to wasted effort or worse, bad decisions.
Okay, so silos, literacy, what else? Security must be a big one.
Oh, absolutely critical. You want to open up access, but doing that carelessly is, dangerous.
Yeah, you're increasing the risk of accidental leaks, maybe breaches.
Yeah, definitely. Makes you a bigger target for hackers, too. So it's this constant balancing act.
Yeah.
Access versus protection. Can't just throw the doors wide open.
No way. That's a nightmare scenario. Okay, and the last big piece seems to be resources, right? Time and money.
Yes, and this is a really crucial point, especially with many traditional solutions. They often demand a huge investment.
Huge how? Like just expensive software.
Well, yes, but also the time and effort to implement them. Yeah. And here's the kicker we found in the sources. Many solutions look great in a small pilot. They show promise. But scaling them up across the whole organization, that's where things get really complex and really expensive.
Ah, I see. So you might have to sink a ton of money and time into it before you even know if it's going to work at scale for everyone.
Exactly. You're making this massive upfront bet, often moving huge amounts of data around, building complex systems, all based on a limited test. There's no guarantee of success for your whole organization.
That feels like a major roadblock. Investing heavily without knowing the outcome? Ouch.
It's a huge barrier. It really stops projects before they even start sometimes.
Okay, so we have silos, literacy issues, security tightropes, and this massive resource hurdle, especially the upfront gamble. No wonder it's felt like an impossible quest.
Mm-hmm.
But then AI enters the picture, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is AI the answer?
Well, AI certainly brings a lot of potential to the table. I mean, its ability to process vast amounts of information seems tailor-made for this kind of problem.
It could help people find stuff faster, maybe even understand it better.
In theory, yes, but, and it's a big but, AI isn't a magic wand either. The common approaches have some serious drawbacks.
Okay, like what? What are the catches?
Well, one popular idea is Let's just copy all our data and feed it into a big AI system or maybe a vector database.
Centralize everything for the AI. Sounds logical on the surface.
It does, but think about the cost, the time to move everything, and the security risks just skyrocket.
Right. The source mentions something like, what an AI knows an AI will disclose. That's pretty stark.
It is. If you put all your sensitive data eggs in one AI basket, that basket becomes a very attractive target. And there's the risk of the AI itself leaking info if someone asks the right tricky questions.
Yikes. Okay, so centralizing everything via AI has massive cost and security implications. What else?
Data literacy,
Yeah.
again. Even with an AI helper, you still need to ask the right questions.
The AI can't read your mind.
Pretty much. The source compared it to needing the patience of Merlin to get what you need sometimes. If you can't articulate the problem or the data you're looking for, the AI might just give you noise.
So the human element, knowing the business, knowing what to ask, is still crucial.
Absolutely. And then we circle back to that resource issue, especially scalability.
Does the fancy AI pilot project actually work when you roll it out to thousands of users and petabytes of data?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? You might invest heavily based on that pilot, only to find it bogs down or costs a fortune to run at scale, especially if it involves constantly moving or syncing huge data sets.
So you get investment lock-in. Stuck with an expensive system that might not even deliver across the board.
Precisely. It's that same problem again, a massive gamble before you have proof it works for your real-world needs.
Okay, so even AI isn't a simple fix. It feels like we're still chasing that elusive grail. But the materials mention something else, swirl.
Yes, Swirl. It's presented as a different kind of AI framework, one designed specifically to make this whole data democratization thing actually achievable. Less like a doomed quest, more like a practical solution.
Okay, I'm intrigued. How does swirl supposedly avoid these pitfalls we've just spent all this time talking about? Let's start with the silos.
This seems to be its core difference. Instead of forcing you to move or copy data, Swirl connects to your existing sources, wherever they are.
So it talks to the databases, the cloud platforms, email, Slack, Teams, all that stuff directly.
Yeah, that's the idea. Databases, cloud stores, collaboration tools like Teams, Zoom, Confluence, email. The list is growing. Crucially, the data stays put.
No mass migration, no creating a new giant data pool.
Correct. It queries the data in place. This immediately tackles the scavenger hunt problem without the massive cost, time, and risk of moving everything. It could save those hours we talked about.
Wow, okay, that alone sounds like a huge advantage.
Yeah.
What about data literacy then? How does it help me, the non-data scientist, make sense of things?
It's designed to be interactive. It doesn't just wait for a perfect query. It can answer your questions, but also suggest things, help you explore what data is available and what it might mean.
So it guides you a bit, helps you figure out what to even ask.
That's the goal. Empower the business experts, the people with the context, to solve more problems themselves without needing a data scientist for every little thing.
Okay, that could bridge that gap we discussed. Now, security, if data stays put, how does that work?
Because the data doesn't move, Swirl plugs into your existing security. Your permissions, your access controls, they still apply.
So I can only see the data I'm already allowed to see.
Exactly. And you avoid that huge risk of putting all your sensitive data into a vendor's cloud or central AI that could be breached. It works with your security, not around it. It's even suitable for air-gapped systems, apparently.
That's a big plus for security-conscious organizations. Okay, silos, literacy, security, now the big one, resources. That upfront investment gamble. How does Swirl address that?
This seems to be the real game changer, tying back to our earlier point. Because it connects to existing systems and doesn't require moving data into, say, a vector database or the vendor's cloud, the setup is described as much more straightforward.
Easier setup, less initial heavy lifting.
Right. And you can often use your preferred AI models, maybe ones your IT team already trusts. But the absolute key thing is this. It lets you try it and verify it works at scale in your environment.
Before you sink massive resources into it.
Precisely. You can actually see if it solves your problems, if it scales, if your users adopt it, before making that huge commitment. You avoid the giant blind gamble.
So, unlike King Arthur's Quest, where you invest everything hoping the grail exists, with this, you can kind of check if the grail is real and reachable for you first.
That's a great way to put it. It flips the model. You validate first, then commit if it proves its worth. That makes the holy grail of data democratizations seem much less mythical and far more attainable.
Okay, that does sound fundamentally different. So wrapping up our deep dive, data democratization, long sought after, but blocked by silos, literacy gaps, security worries, and especially that need for huge upfront bets on solutions that might not scale.
Mhm. And while AI offers potential, common approaches often carry significant costs, risks, and don't eliminate the literacy or scalability challenges, sometimes even repeating that upfront gamble problem.
But an approach like Swirl seems to tackle these head on, connecting in place, boosting literacy interactively, leveraging existing security.
And crucially, letting you prove its value at scale before that major investment. It removes the massive gamble.
So, the final thought for our listeners. Imagine if those daily data frustrations just melted away. If finding and understanding information was genuinely easier and safer for everyone in your organization.
What could you achieve? How much more confident could your decision-making be?
Maybe explore these newer approaches like Swirl. See if that holy grail for your organization is finally within reach without needing to risk the kingdom first.
Definitely food for thought.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.